What is up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Harm's Way Podcast. I am your host, Craig. Across from me, as always, parked up and looking great after the holidays, my brother, Eric. What is going on, Eric? How are you?
Hello, Craig.
You look good.
I'm feeling better than I was when I got home.
That's good.
So, like I was telling you, I was up all night last night because I was pretty amped. Well, I slept until noon yesterday because it was still...
Slept until noon.
It was still technically, break.
Vacation. Yeah, I slept in too.
So,
it was weird getting up today.
Night. That coupled with being amped up. I was up all night last night, and then I consumed enough coffee to kill...
zebra.
I'm not going to go there. Yeah, a zebra. That would be a better way to say it. I will never do that again because I got home and tried to lay down for a little bit, and I started nodding off, and then I had the, oh my god, I'm going to miss my alarm.
Yeah.
I set an alarm for 2 hours later, right?
Yeah.
And I always have that anxiety, and it hit me just as I nodded off, and when it hit me, it startled me. And I started
I do that a lot.
Chest started hurting.
Oh, yeah.
And now my back's hurting, so I think it's a muscle thing, but I got up and I was like, what's going on here? So, kind of got a little freaked out, but I feel better now. Funny enough, sitting in the car driving is the most comfortable I've felt.
Really?
In days. Yeah. But yeah, it had me a little freaked out there for a minute, and yeah. A lot of shit has happened in the last 24 hours. Have you been paying attention to the news at all?
Just like the NFL stuff, which was one of my topics I wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
As far as news, no, I guess, not really.
Well, in the same vein as you want to talk about or mention what happened last night.
I was going to, once we finish our segue, I had some other things to talk about, but yeah, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, there's just kind of been a string of bad news.
Yes, so from what I am hearing, this holiday is bad for a lot of people.
Yeah.
A lot of things.
Yeah. I felt awkward today, seeing all the headlines and shit.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. It's not a...
It was a lot of compounding dread and
Of course, we're not shitting on everybody's Christmas, by the way. This is more or less what we're seeing from people around us and then people, in the news. Because one of the ladies that's, one of the planners for one of the plants that we work for,
yeah,
her husband, longtime cop, I guess he just succumbed to cancer last night.
Jesus.
So he made it after the holidays and then that stuff. And then I told you about the one lady I work with and her son. And then... it's just been...
A lot of bad news.
A lot of bad news. A lot of bad, horrible shit around the holidays. And for the most part, maybe we've seen it before, but maybe it just hasn't clicked as much, you know? But we're not, again, shitting on and saying... there's people out there that are having great holidays and, having children born around this time of year. And we're not trying to take away from that.
It was a weird day. It just seemed like a weird day.
I feel like it's been a weird... month and a half.
I had no reason to think it was a weird day, but it was a weird day.
Yeah, my weirdness started when you took me to my procedure and I had 103 temperature.
Yeah.
I think that was my, oh fuck, maybe we're not going to be okay for a while. And I'm still not okay. My lungs are okay.
Wow.
I don't have as much of a cough, but I still can't fucking hear out of this ear.
You're walking around without a coat on yesterday.
It was 63 degrees.
No, it wasn't. It was in the low 50s yesterday.
It was not. It was 60-something degrees. It was 60-something degrees today on my way home.
Yes, it was. But yeah, I kind of had an irrational bit of panic earlier when this started acting up because of what happened yesterday.
Oh, yeah. I get that, and it's just like gas and shit, and being old. Yeah. Another thing was one of our plants actually shut down today.
Really?
Yeah, in South Dakota, because I guess they had 12 inches of snow by 10 a.m.
Oh, it shut down because they didn't shut it down permanently.
No, we're not that broke. But the another person that's retiring was their last day today. You remember him fondly.
Yeah, we can talk about it later.
Yeah, the plant manager sent this thing company wide, and I thought it was hilarious. I'm not going to name any names, but just the amount of bitchiness that's in that first day coming back in the first couple hours, and I'm at this thing where I'm trying to zen out. I'm trying to be more positive and chill the fuck out. That's not me saying I'm not going to say funny shit anymore or cuss, but I'm trying to. I don't want to say a New Year's resolution because I think they're bullshit. But my thing that I'm trying to work on, besides what we had talked about before, with my time with my family and friends, friends being used loosely, but I'm trying to stay more positive about just random shit. Just random shit. You know, that's not saying I can't make jokes or, roast random dumb people, but I'm trying to be more of a positive person. I'm trying to reach out there and affect my happiness.
Yeah, that's why days like today are so weird, because it's like you're just kind of fighting against the universe.
But you are. But one of the ladies, again, not going to mention any names, but they had sent out this email that said, hey, we're close. We got 12 inches of snow already, and it's not 10 a.m. there because they're hours behind us. So by our 10 a.m. is what they're 8 a.m. maybe, something like that. They have 12 inches of snow already. So they said, hey, we're packing it up. Everybody that's here, we're fucking sending home, and we're gonna get a late start tomorrow after they get the roads cleared. And this is the city that it's in has a not national, but you know what I mean, has a citywide shutdown. No schools. You can't even go to Walmart to get a fucking six-pack. They shut the fuck down when it snows out there.
Yeah.
So, and the scheduler lady is sending me my jobs that I had sold, and she's like, hey, we're not going to get this. I'm like, girl, get out. I'm like, I appreciate the heads up, but, you guys stay safe out there. And she says, all right, I'll get back on and send you more when I get home. I was like, don't worry about it, because there's people out there that are going to lose power, and it gets cold. Oh, yeah. And there might be people that die, so that's a serious situation. And one of these people, I laugh about it, but it irks me pretty bad. I hear across the cubicles, I wish we got a snow day. And this person in particular, this is her first day back in 2 fucking weeks. She had 2 consecutive weeks because she was able to string together her leftover vacation days, Yeah. And daisy chain them together to get 2 consecutive weeks off. She's 2 hours into a fucking shift, and she has the nerve, the gall, to say, I wish we got a snow day. Bitch, they're gonna fucking die. There's people out there that are gonna die, probably.
There's a lot of weird weather going on right now. Did you hear about San Francisco?
No, but they're
getting... Well,
yeah, go ahead.
They're just, they keep getting smacked by these, I can't remember what they keep calling it. They got a name for it, but it's basically just a big fucking rainstorm that's coming through, and they're gearing up for the 3rd one.
And it's high winds and shit or something?
Yeah, and the last...
all those bridges shaking?
2 weeks, but they're having severe flooding, and they said Southern California might be getting tornadoes.
See...
I thought that was...
Well, that's weird.
I thought that was fucking wild.
Flat, right? Flat, and we get mostly warm fronts there, so tornadoes would be weird.
As far as Southern California, it's if you're by the coast, the weather's pretty stable.
I'm not fucking Al Roker or anything.
I mean, in the desert, it's pretty stable too, but you don't hear about tornadoes in that part of the country.
That's what I mean, yeah.
That's what
Oklahoma, maybe, because...
Well, yeah, Tornado Alley and the secondary alley in the southeast, but...
and Carrie Underwood.
We get them here, too.
Yeah, we get little ones. I mean, there was a big one a couple years back down in Tuscarawas County that swept all the way to Coshocton, but the fucking Texas, Oklahoma, Nebraska, Kansas, those motherfuckers get hit. I mean, they get tornadoes the size of 4 fucking buildings, and they're just people outside, fucking dads out there with their fucking jean shorts, tube socks, and New Balance, and they're just watching it, just hanging out. Yeah. But it kills people out there. Out here, I don't know of anybody. I've never heard of anybody dying from a tornado. Mm. But
we had one in the spring that blew through. Did blow through Holmes County.
Yeah, Holmes County gets hit once a year.
Tore the shit out of everything, and that
because their high school out there gets tore up by that shit every now and then. There was a sports complex or something.
There was a big substation that they couldn't get to for a week because it had down so many trees. Oh, so it was just people were kind of just fucked. But it was like, you know, it wasn't winter anymore or anything. Like, it wasn't cold or anything. So we were kind of getting it. Yeah, we were kind of transitioning into summer. But
what's kind of funny about California, though, not to interrupt you, but
I was done.
I was done, my lord. The
Moist McQueen.
in the summer, they get these horrible wildfires that, you know, start from fucking lightning or whatever,
or gender
this.
reveals.
Criminal charges. That's all I gotta say. But they can't get enough water, rain, precipitation. They get these droughts and, you know, shit. And California's kind of an extreme at those ends, because then you get into winter and stuff, and then they're getting these floods that are like, most people are getting, you know, snow for Christmas. They're getting mudslides and fucking floods and shit.
I imagine the amount of...
You kind of got to be a little hard to live out there.
The amount of rain they've gotten is probably well above average. I don't know. But it's just kind of funny because, you know, they've had an ongoing drought out there for like 3 years now.
Yeah, years.
And then this shit happens. It's like, fuck, is this like right?
But it doesn't fix it. That's what I'm telling you.
I always wonder, is this like Mother Nature righting the ship? Or
no,
like,
because then come July, they'll be right back to where they were last year. Massive fires.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know how much rain they've gotten, and I don't know how, like, it's like, are you guys flush now? Like, what the fuck?
Side note, have you ever watched any movies, documentaries, or shows about those motherfuckers that go in? I don't know what they're called or what they're firefighters, but they're like wild firefighters. Like they, you know, hike in with axes, chainsaws, and they put a cut in, and then the fire hits it and kind of dies off. And there was a movie a couple years back with Miles Teller, the guy from the new Footloose remake.
He was in that?
Footloose?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's in
I
Footloose.
didn't know that.
He wasn't the main guy. He was the friend, the goofy friend that ate crayons. But he was in this movie where pretty sure it was Miles Teller. Now you got me thinking. Whatever.
I didn't know they remade it.
He joins this crew out there, and I think it was California. It might have been one of the other states, but and he learns how to do this shit, and they go through, and it's actually a true story because he was part of the crew that the entire crew died, and he was the only survivor. Mm-hmm. So he was like a non-war lone survivor, if you will, of this shit, because he got sent back to like get radios or something, and then his whole crew got caught in what it is a flashover or flame over or whatever the fuck they call it. I don't know. I'm butchering these terms, and I apologize for anybody out here that does it, because I have a massive respect boner for these people that do this job.
Yeah.
But when that shit happens, it's seconds, right? It's coming at them, it's catching all the dry shit, and only thing they do is they get these like reflective tent things, and then they put masks on and they fucking lay down on the ground and cover themselves until the flame goes over. And I guess it's such a low percentage of times that people survive with that, even with a really quick one, that his whole team, you know, they found him, for lack of a better term, burnt.
Pompeii.
Yeah, pretty much. And it's sad because you're like, fuck, man.
Fuck yeah, it's sad.
They're with those guys because they operate
go
like
out there to fucking... You know, try to stop that shit.
And they go out there like... that's what they do. They save little towns and shit scattered in the fucking mountains.
I've seen some shorts on YouTube where the guy...
It's fucking crazy.
The guy will point out some situations. Like, they're kind of like mopping up after the fire's been contained or whatever. Yeah. So he's just standing next to a tree it looks like coals, but it's still on fire.
Yeah.
And, like, he's going through, like, okay... He's going through the situations, and he's telling you how they prevent it from, you know, kicking up again or spreading again. And like he had a down tree. It was maybe like 8 inches across or whatnot, or 8 inches in diameter. And they had, you know, they clear the brush and the leaves so it's down to dirt, and they make a path. You know, it's like a perimeter,
a cut. Yeah.
Well, this down tree was crossing that, and the one end was
on fire still.
Smoldering, pretty much coals and smoldering, and, you know, could kick up. So he was like, see this situation here? This is where we have to cut it. And, you know, and he just, he pointed out, like, this is where, you know, this is where we clear the path so that it can't get any farther.
This guy's freaky smart.
You remember my one friend from school, the short one that was Chinese?
Yeah.
His brother was one of those guys.
Does that?
Yeah.
Fuck.
I don't know if he does it anymore. I mean, it's been forever.
That seems like a young man's game. Like, That's one of the jobs you're gonna see. Not that many old guys do, unless they're like supervisors or some or drivers. But they coordinate with the helicopters and the planes. They do the flyovers. Like that's all one big family. Those guys they live near each other and they fucking train. And it's like the what's that
Illuminati.
Called? I was gonna say Coast Guard, but close, Eric. They're like they're stationed together and they're on and off, and so it was really heart-wrenching to hear this true story of how this dude who was basically a long shot and the only way he made it was because of his team and then backing him up, and he went from being like their weakest link on the team to like one of their strongest guys, and it was just so happens a fucking freak thing where they sent him back in like the fucking side-by-side and these guys went up the cut, and because these guys gotta read wind, so they're fucking, because I didn't know that wind is the worst thing. Because if the fire is burning and the wind pushes towards fresh, dried shit, that's where it's going to go. And these guys have to, like, know where the wind's sweeping.
They can get surrounded.
Yeah, and that's what happened. They were trying to cut out, or they were trying to pack out, and they were basically running with fucking saws and equipment, gas tanks, and the rest of their shit, you know? And their packs, and they're basically just going, and they were good for a second, and everybody thought, and then it was the wind shifted, and they had to go from hiking to back to a dead spot where it would burn less, but it would still hit them, to putting their emergency shit on and hoping for the best. And these guys, they had families that lived together and like partied together, and kids that went to school together. It's fucking hard, man. I couldn't imagine doing that shit. That's like, but it's talk about an underappreciated fucking job. Like, who's gonna thank those guys? Up until 2 years ago, or whenever I watched this shit, I didn't know they fucking existed.
Where's this documentary at?
I'll look for it and I'll send you a link. I want to say I found the movie on Prime. Yeah. But if you, like most things, if you search Miles Teller, because it's a good movie. They did it really well too. But I'll look what it is.
Miles Teller was in it?
I'm pretty sure it was Miles Teller. I'll look it up. Again, if there's a retraction, you guys will fucking know. I'm pretty much spot on when it comes to, we are. When we talk to cinema and actors, actresses, I don't know, Eric and I were just born with a gene where we can fucking remember that shit. I'm pretty sure Miles Teller. And there's some other people in it too. There's another show that's on like Peacock or Paramount Plus or something that Rachel and I've been meaning to get to, and it's about that. But it's got the big dude from SEAL Team. I don't know if you ever watched that with David Boreanaz. Did you remember Bates Motel? Yeah. Alright, do you remember the blonde brother? Not the crazy one, but the brother.
Max Theroux.
Yeah, I like him, right? I followed a bunch of shit he was in. He's in this new show, but motherfucker gained like 30 pounds and he looks like 1980s Lou Ferrigno. Like, he is huge.
You know what I just thought of? What was that movie with
I feel like I quote Lou, or I use Lou Ferrigno a lot.
What was the movie? It was Emile Hirsch and
He's another, get that guy fucking.
Yeah, but what's the movie where he was with Paul Rudd and they were like with the forest, or they were with the road service in some like remote part of Oregon or something like that. So they'd go and spend like weeks out on the. They would go spend like weeks out on the road, putting down like the reflectors on the road, painting.
Oh my god! I don't
clearing
know.
Shit off the road. Stuff
Is it an old one?
I think it was like 2010, maybe.
People forget how long Emile Hirsch has been around.
Yeah.
And that guy.
Girl Next Door.
Was fucking the show about the movie about the guy that died in the wilderness. Oh, wilderness was.
Call of the Wild.
Call of the Wild.
No, wait.
No.
Into the Wild.
Into the Wild.
Into the Wild.
About
Supertramp.
Supertramp. Yeah, that's another heart-wrenching fucking story. But
that's like I mean, that's like an iconic American movie. Like,
oh yeah, it's classic.
Christopher McCandless is like he's like a American icon.
Yeah,
because of that,
the symbol of freedom.
Yeah, he did it.
And then you can't forget about lone survivor. And,
they had
and
it.
packed cast.
You know, they had to move the bus. They had to go out and get the bus and move it somewhere because people kept.
I don't know how it
stuck.
got there. Like, because he was miles away from the closest road, or was there an access road?
I think there was.
But it was across.
I seen a picture of the bus
stream
site, and it was just like a dirt road. I think that I could be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. But I seen like an aerial shot of the bus, surrounded by a bunch of brush. But it almost was like sitting next to a cul-de-sac of dirt. And the road just kind of went off in the distance, so it went God knows where.
They made it seem a little more remote in the movie. I think
they did, which is why I'm like 90% sure what I say.
But no, I think you're right.
I seen the picture,
but I think they had to helicopter pick it up.
Yeah, they got like a fucking Chinook or something and took it out of there.
Yeah, they didn't like
because people kept trying to pilgrimage to it,
fucked up,
and they kept getting stuck. And
they had same,
which kind of sucks because like I get it, man. Like it's a pretty, like I said, it's just kind of a pretty iconic story, so I can get why people would want to go out there and see it, but you got to use your head, and you're in the middle of fucking Alaska. You got to hike way out there. And
see, Alaska, and I consider, we grew up in the outdoors, like not grew up in the outdoors, but you and I grew up familiar, very familiar, intimately familiar with the outdoors. I wouldn't even, in my prime, Eric, I wouldn't fuck with Alaska.
I would probably tinker with the suburbs of Fairbanks or Anchorage. Just test the waters a little bit.
Bering Strait.
No, I wouldn't. There's Kodiak on the islands. It's a city. Kodiak's a city, right? On one of the Aleutian Islands, I think.
Yeah, you're talking about like the upper. Yeah, no, I don't think, man. Like I'd have to be within 20 minutes of a city or a town.
That one guy on YouTube that builds the cabins I was telling you about.
Yeah.
He's done a bunch of videos where he had where he built a whole log structure. It fucking turned out really nice. He said, they were on the side of a mountain. They looked like they were in the middle of nowhere, but he said they were about 20 minutes from downtown Fairbanks.
See, that's
because you look at Anchorage and it's like, it's on the Pacific coast, right? Yeah. But then you look at Fairbanks and it's like smack dab in the middle of the state.
Yeah. Well, that's what I mean. I'm not even talking about the cold because there's parts of Alaska that don't really get that cold.
What I'm thinking is, if
that are more like Washington, Canada.
Logically speaking, if the climate's getting warmer, we need to head to Alaska. Barrow. I've always wanted to go to Barrow, whatever.
I couldn't fuck with Barrow. 30 days a night? No.
They changed the name of it, I think. They changed it to,
what, stay the fuck out of here?
No, they changed it to the,
we got a Walmart?
The native tribe.
From that region.
Cool. I think they changed it to the name they had for it.
Do you think they got a Dollar General? Honest question.
They actually have, like, a convenience store.
Because it's like...
From what I've seen, they have at least one convenience store up there. But you go get like a small DiGiorno pizza, it's like $11 because they got to fly all that shit in there.
Yeah, a box of Frosted Flakes like $19.99. Like,
there was
stupid.
Back when I was job hunting.
Lols.
When am I not job hunting? But there was I started getting desperate and a little creative, and I started looking at like jobs working for like the city of Fairbanks or whatnot, and they put right in the job description, must be able to work a 12-gauge shotgun.
God,
it was
fucking American.
I saw that and I was like, it's because of fucking bears and shit.
You know that. So, what's funny about it? Well, yeah, not just bears. There's 9 different predators up there that'll fuck you up, and I use predators loosely because anybody who's ever seen someone get stomped out by a moose. Yeah, that shit is real, dude.
Predator monsters with the dreadlocks running around and shit.
Fucking Mises they'll kill you, and that's like Mises it's like a Clydesdale with antlers. That's all they are. Yeah. They're fucking huge. Yeah. I watched a video of one tripping on the ice on the road the other day, and I laughed for hours. And then I watched one it must have been another country, but this little fucking Prius-looking cop car. You know how they got them? Like they're just like a smallest compact car, and it's a cop car. Moose is coming in. And it's a female moose, and she's just crossing lanes looking this way, and the fucking cop car just takes her out, dude. But she gets back up and takes off.
That thing wasn't going to kill her.
No, the driver was probably dead.
You need a fucking semi to
But not even that, dude. You see some of them get like little boomed off the road by a semi at full speed, and they get up, and maybe their legs broke, but Alaska's no joke. Anything, it would fucking scare me. But it's the funny thing about Alaska is, and I make this joke often because it's basically America's Australia. It's America's penal colony because back in the day, you fuck up down here, you go straight up there, or you go down to Mexico. So Alaska.
They sent a lot of prisoners up there?
No, they fucking went there themselves. That's what I mean.
When
you were running from the law,
I see.
You either went to Mexico, because most people thought you would go to Mexico because it's warmer, right? It's tropical, you can disappear. But in all reality, a lot of people went to fucking Alaska. And you'd have so many, I don't know, feds back in the day would chase people to Alaska, and they'd either never come back or they'd be like, they're fucking gone. Because you could go up there, you could create a new identity. You could wait a couple more years until the government got more structured and then get a new social security number or a social security number. You change your name, fucking grow a mustache, you're Alaskan. So it's it's kind of like, maybe it's not exactly like a penal colony, but it's, you know how people in Australia, if you trace their lineage, they're traced back to people that were prisoners from England way back when. It's like that up there, too.
Yeah. It's like that...
a lot of genealogical spikes.
Papillon?
Papillon, yeah.
Papillon. You see that?
Good movie, yeah. I watched that a couple times.
Great movie. That one makes you hurt, though. I mean...
Why, it had a happy ending.
Yeah. I'm not going to spoil anything, but... Yeah, it'll take you for a ride.
It was...
You been watching any more Castlevania?
No.
Just a side note. I don't want to get too far off, but...
No, I know. I was about to redirect.
I watched through it again over like the last...
You watched what?
I watched through it again starting the beginning of season 2. Yeah. It's actually a really great show. I mean, I think it's a great show.
For being
the fight scenes are fucking great.
I find myself dabbling more in some animes.
And like
and it's all right. Like there's nothing wrong with that.
They did a really good job like building the character chemistry too. Like,
I think so.
You don't see that very often. Yeah.
I like the back and forth in the first 2 seasons between Dracula's son and then the monster hunter. Their chemistry was good.
Yep.
I just like the story. I mean, as weird as it sounds. I like it, and it
was pretty good.
Because you got me into that one, I started watching other different ones, like, and I'm not afraid if they're dubbed or if I have to read either, like I was before. Because the first season of that,
the dubbed thing is
Chainsaw Man, Chainsaw Face, or some shit like that. It's fucking crazy. But I actually started that one.
We called them the fish people.
And it's like you start and like he's narrating in and there's a and you're like, whoa, what the fuck? Yeah. But let me stay with it and see.
Yeah, I think when we talked before about like the dubbed animes and the dubbed live action stuff, did you watch Space Sweepers?
No.
Because I think last time we had this conversation, afterwards I stopped and I thought and I went, shit. Space Sweepers was dubbed.
I don't know if you brought it up.
Great.
Space Sweepers?
That was a great movie.
See, I have a lot of people...
I thought it was a great movie. They could make 3 or 4 more sequels on that. And they did.
Wait, maybe you did bring it up.
I might have, but after we had that conversation, I remember sitting there thinking, I was like, okay, I was wrong. There's a few dubbed series or movies that I liked. So I shouldn't have been so harsh on it last time, but...
It's alright. Life's about learning.
But
I have a lot of people that I know that watch, and they're gonna probably fucking yell at me for pronouncing this wrong, but I say Naruto, and they all get fucking...
I was in Speedway the other day, and a guy had he had a Naruto vest. He had, you know how they have like the long black sleeve shirt, and then they have the green vest? He fucking was wearing one of those, buying beer. I was like,
and at this point,
I want to go party at that guy's house.
At this point, I just keep calling it Naruto just to piss him off.
Just call it Rudo.
It's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, love me some Rudo.
But what's funny is Myles Garrett, defensive end for Cleveland, huge anime fan.
Yeah, you told me about him going and playing D&D with a bunch of nerds.
Well, that's cool too, because he fucking won that one time. But he
competitive spirit.
You'd see this guy, and he's like, I don't know, like if Zeus was black, that's what he looks like without a shirt on, and he's playing D&D.
Well,
he's watching anime. He loves dogs. I guess he has a bunch of dogs, and then he's got a great sense of humor. Great, fucking. Other than trying to kill Kyle Rudolph with his helmet, everyone.
Oh yeah, that was ugly.
Everyone would love Myles Garrett as a friend.
Yeah,
except Kyle Rudolph. But he's a racist.
Some people don't start. I lost my train of thought. I was gonna say when you're him, a lot of people might be looking embarrassed or shy about that shit. But when you're him, you get the world in the palm of your hand.
What, the hitting him with the helmet?
No, I mean Myles. Just being a star athlete and like he's not. Yeah, he's gonna. Let's play some fucking D&D, man.
That's what I mean.
He'll be Twitch streaming next month.
Yeah, he does some video game stuff too.
Does he?
There's only so much they're allowed to do during season, like Twitch streaming and stuff. That Kyler Murray, that fucking quarterback for Arizona, he was the one that was like, "Oh, I ain't going to practice because fucking new Call of Duty's coming out." And then like,
really,
everybody. Well, people said that. I don't think he said it, but he had made comments about being excited to play the new Call of Duty, and then staying up late or something, and everybody took that as, "You're a fucking trash bag," and these guys can do whatever the fuck they want.
One of my college professors used to go to midnight releases. He'd go stand in line.
Yeah.
And he'd give his gamer tag out to his students.
Oh, that's dope.
He was a cool guy. He was. You remember the story where I went and took that exam with no pants? It was him.
Oh, okay.
It was him. Very sweet guy.
Now, staying on this.
Put up with that shit.
Staying on this subject, last night was a very, very, very hard to watch scene in the game between Cincinnati and Buffalo. Naturally, the game that was deciding our fantasy football championship.
Was it really?
Yeah, he has Josh Allen and I have Dawson Knox going. And so I don't really know what's going on, but that is so far Bill can have the championship as long as I never watch that happen to another player ever again.
Yeah, it was fucking scary.
That was horrible. And I didn't see it live. It was sent to me and people were talking to me about it.
I saw clips of it.
But it did not, and it brought me back, because anybody who's played football and anybody listening to this, that you know, because you see shit like that and it brings you back to however many times you got fucking soloplexed, and you think back to what could have happened. I took a crown to the chest quite a few times, and it knocks the fucking wind out.
So clarify this for me, because I didn't really go looking. I just saw like a couple Twitter clips of like when everybody was on the ground and getting up and shit. Like, was it a hard hit?
That's the thing.
Because there seems to be a debate whether it was a hard hit or not.
That's the thing. Mitch and I were talking about this. So he's a safety, and the guy that hit him, or the guy that he tackled, is like a 6'4" wide receiver, big dude, but maybe 185, not huge. And Mitch and I were talking about this because it looked like a routine fucking hit, But he was coming across the middle, and the safety just wrapped him up, took him down, and I think kind of landed on his side. But the wide receiver's shoulder pad looks like it hit him square in the chest, and when he landed, there might have been some jogging there, like something, getting hit a little harder. But what killed me was he popped right back up, stood up, and then I told Mitch because he was one of the ones that sent me the video. When he stood up, there was a player that walked in front of him, and he reached to hold on to that guy.
Oh, did he?
So he was actually out when he was up. 100%.
What was
anybody who's had concussions or been knocked out knows what it's like when somebody's standing there and no one's home.
So, what really creeped me out, and I'm not trying to be insensitive. This is just like
it's fine.
The comparison that I drew when he stood up. The clip that I saw, it was a shot from you're looking at his back.
Yeah, and he took a half step back.
Well, when he stood up, like in any like video game animation where somebody gets stunned or whatever, and they're like,
he wavy.
He did one of those like
yes,
yeah, and
I
saw that.
Half a step back, I think, and then he fell.
Yeah,
but he was out. That's what I mean. He was out.
He did like this kind of circular motion before he went down. I was like, oh.
So, yeah, and it was
spooky to see.
It's horrible because he goes out and then he's down, and then everybody spreads, and then they have to immediately get first responders on there, and then he was non-responsive for the longest time, and that alone, just watching it, is gonna fuck with people. Let alone being a player on the field or being a staff member or a coach or a first responder. I don't care how many times you respond to shit like that. Props to the people that can get used to that.
It's got to be really scary being one of the players on the field, watching all that unfold and just not knowing what happened.
Well, that, and I saw a lot of posts about this today. Prayers for T. Higgins. Also, T. Higgins was the wide receiver that hit him, or that caught the pass and then hit him.
Okay.
Because that's going to fuck with his head too, especially. So last update I saw was this dude is basically in a coma. He has a pulse, and I don't know if he's breathing on his own yet. And they're afraid, or they're assuming that there's going to be some degree of brain damage because of how long he went without oxygen.
Did you actually read that?
Yeah, I've read several things.
Because I've seen sparse updates.
But that was from a couple hours ago.
Yeah, I've seen sparse updates of like they had him out. I don't know if it was a coma, but they had him out.
Okay, you might have heard something in between the one that I heard.
Well, that's the thing. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I don't know the difference between this shit. But I'm reading where some people are saying there's a difference between a coma and they just have him like knocked out, almost like you would for surgery.
Well, there's got to be I assume what they're looking for now is brain function and brain waves or whatever going through to make sure that he's all right, or he can be all right. Because right now they said that with the damage that's happened, he might come to, be okay, but he'll probably never play again. Which I know that's the last thing on people's thought. You want to get this guy okay. Because I mean, I even everyone's saying prayers for Hamlin. This is horrible. It's not something we want to see. I was talking to Mitch about this. I don't think this has happened too many times in our lifetime of watching football. Mm-hmm. I know this might have happened a long time ago before.
I was talking to Mom about it earlier, and she said back in the 70s there was somebody that got hit and died on the field. But I didn't look it up. We'll have to look it up.
Well, there was one about I want to say 5 to 10 years ago, but it wasn't a professional player. It was like a beer league football, and it was an older dude, and he took a hit to the chest and died on the field.
Well, I remember when you and I were growing up playing.
That sucks also, and that's horrible.
When you and I were growing up playing baseball, they always warned us about taking a shot square to the sternum.
Anything in the chest. Now, we still don't know if it was the hit to the chest. Did he have any underlying issues?
We don't. Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what makes us so... That's not what makes us so scary. It's one of the things that makes us so scary. It's like everything's just like nobody really knows what the fuck happened.
Because you can... I've seen dudes take...
It sucks, because if you don't...
Absolute dingers to the head. Not dongers, but dingers. And one of them was my friend Keith. Dude had absolutely... guy outweighed him by 60 pounds, and they ran at each other full tilt.
Tweeter ain't no bitch.
Smacked. I know. And they both went opposite. Like, he didn't kill him, and he didn't kill him, but they went, and Keith stood up, and there for a second it looked like there was no one home. Like, he got his cuckooed. And the other guy laid on the ground, which I find fucking hilarious. But they were both okay, and then I've seen... I don't want to name drop too many times, but
you don't have to.
Anybody else?
Say somebody
I've seen this other guy take like a glancing shot of a shoulder pad to like the side of his helmet and be out, completely cold, out. So it really, you don't know the force it takes, especially chest, head. We've seen Dak Prescott's ugly fucking ankle injury or leg injury, shit like that. We've seen Teddy Bridgewater almost lose a leg because he stepped in a hole that like severed blood to his fucking knee. Like, we've seen all these horrible fucking injuries, but something like this, you can't really prepare for. It's fucked up. Alex Smith's leg injury, Joe Theismann.
I was thinking Joe Theismann because they show the slow-mo replay and you just see...
Well, that was creepy because I think he was playing for Washington when Alex Smith, when that happened to him, he was playing for Washington.
Oh. DC, right?
Fuck you. Yeah. So, but yeah, prayers to them. His family released a statement earlier saying when they know more, they will let us know. They're in Cincinnati, which is one of the best hospitals in the state, I guess. So they're well taken care of, but it's just sad to see.
Yeah,
it kind of fucks with you. And that might put things into perspective for people because they were. And I'm not shitting on the NFL or anything, but they probably don't know how to proceed with this. But they were saying, hey, 15 minutes and then you guys can warm up or something. And the coaches, I guess, came together and was like, look, we can't fucking play this game.
Play right after that.
And I guess they talked and they said they sent their teams away. And
well, they had the NFL got with the Players Association and they were like, yeah, postpone this shit. You can't expect those guys to fucking go out and.
It's fucking.
How can you play that game when
that's what I mean?
Every guy on that field and everybody in that stadium, that's all they've been thinking about.
Regardless of the color of your jersey last
18
night,
hours.
You were fucked up in some way. People watching it were fucked up. And I didn't watch the game because of the fantasy championship coming down to it. But as soon as I started getting updates and people texting me about shit, I was like, oh fuck. And then I was like, well, he'll be all right, right? And they were like, no, they're giving him CPR on the field. And when you hear that, you're like, what? There's no. But yeah. Sad.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. A lot of sad news lately. Did you hear about Jeremy Renner? Hawkeye?
No, what happened?
There was a snowplow accident. And I heard some conflicting things, and I didn't read into it. He's in critical condition right now.
Jeez.
And well, last I saw, as of a few hours ago, he's still in critical condition.
Prayers to Jeremy Renner, dude. I love that guy.
Yeah, I was thinking about that at work today. I was like, I mean, there's just all this bad news.
Ken Block, snowboarding or snowmobile accident.
Yeah, Ken Block died.
How the fuck did that happen? I didn't read too much about that, but as soon as you were asking me this when we first started about that one was in the back of my head because I did remember that.
Yeah.
Ken Block, I mean, they grew up watching him and was it Fantasy? No, not Fantasy. Yeah, Fantasy Factory, Nitro Circus, all those fucking crazy ass guys that you love, and a fucking snowmobile takes him out. Like, damn.
Well, I mean, there's no roll cage.
Yeah, that's fair. Snowmobiles. I've been on one snowmobile in my entire life.
Yeah.
And it was like some 1980s fucking Franken thing. And I swear to God, it was held together by duct tape and spit. And it was running on hopes and dreams. And Eric, tearing across the field, it was one of the fastest things I've ever been on. I don't know what makes those fucking things tick, but they are ungodly fast when they want to be.
Did you ever see the jet ski with the Busa engine in it?
Hayabusa, yeah.
That thing, when that guy took it, I don't know how,
he was like this far out of the
I don't know how
water.
I don't know how he didn't fly off the back of that thing. Like, the G-forces from the acceleration on that thing, I did not think a watercraft could accelerate like that without a fucking Saturn V strapped to its ass.
To be fair, how many jet skis have you been on?
0.
Okay. I've been on 2. And I will tell you, my fat ass, with being as strong as I am upper body wise, I was on like a medium one, and then I was on like oh fuck, this one's here to party.
Yeah.
And the medium one, first time I ever ripped, was like, it sends you back.
Well, this guy, man, the video,
I know the Hayabusa
the video
crazy.
I saw was just
Well, your horsepower is going to be bonkers out of that.
I don't know how I didn't rip his arms off.
But the thing about jet skis is, I don't think there's as much wind up. Like, you don't fucking need to go through gears. This one that I was on, I don't know, I want to say a 500, but I was and Rachel rode on it with me. Both of us almost ripped off because there's a certain amount of freedom you feel on things that go fast like that. That's why I have a deep love for four-wheelers. I think that's like one of the greatest freedoms you can ever achieve. Dirt bikes are cool if you're gay, but I'm just kidding. I'm always a four-wheeler guy, but that's my goal is to get a four-wheeler that I can just pin and rip through the gears, and that to me is freedom. Well, you remember Daniel Tosh's stand-up when we were younger, and he was like, have you ever tried to frown on a jet ski? Motherfucker was right. I'm like that. Dude, my face got cramped up. Like, they had to throw water on me. Because you get good with it, and then you get cocky, and then you fall and fuck up. And almost lose the title to the person's jet ski it is. But, yeah, those things are fast as fuck. I mean, you pin it, you're up until you kind of like equalize or the ballast fixes itself or something, and then it's straight. Ballast. Bro, it's straight blurs. Like, we were fortunate enough to be on a bigger lake, so it was almost like a blown up version of Atwood. Bunch of inlets and stuff, but if you stayed in the middle, you had a bulk of it you could fuck with, right? Yeah. And it was calm the one day, so I pinned it, dude. This thing was going almost 70 mile an hour. We'll say 60 to 70. But your right and left gets blurry. Your front of you don't know what's going on, and then that's across the lake. I mean, I crossed the lake, which is several miles long, in what felt like seconds. I know that's not true, and then if you hit chops, I couldn't hit. Mitch was hitting chops. This motherfucker was going this far out of the water and landing like nothing was happening.
I always thought it was funny that you'd see on like one of the ESPN channels, you'd see them racing the boats, and I always thought it was.
Dude, we had a cousin that used to do that.
Not funny, but I always thought it was kind of stupid how often those guys wrecked. And when those things would wreck, they would just it was like a Formula One car. It would just fucking disintegrate.
And you got to a certain degree, you're locked
speed,
into that,
no
right?
penis.
Yeah. To a certain degree,
you bump wheels and both cars fucking explode.
You're locked in, and you're on water. Yeah. So if that thing does that straight up stand up, comes apart like a fucking reverse transformer, and you land, at what point are you drowning?
Well, they have like the detachable cockpits or something. If
you're coherent during that.
Yeah. I just remember seeing I was like, why do people race these things? They fucking they destroy themselves. Yeah. Because I mean, you're only going so fast before you just start skipping and you're unstable and then you're just fucking up.
Because it's 0 to 60 in like a money shot. Like if there's no time in between, you're literally.
We're using money shots it's a unit of measurement for time.
Stay with me. So 0 to 60 in a money shot, and then before you know it, you're staring at the sky. I don't know. Eric and I had a cousin, or second cousin, or third cousin, or whatever, or weird uncle, I don't know. But he used to race those. And we went over to their house one time, and we saw one, and the size of the cockpit was like barely one of these chairs. Like, I don't know how. Like, my ass now can't fit in those.
Now, do you remember where they would race, it wasn't the fan boats, but they were like swamp boats or whatever, and they would race them through the channel. You had to complete, it was like time trials and shit. I did like watching that, and I did not think that was stupid.
Because you have a prop the size of a Volkswagen.
Were they fan boats or?
I think they were fan, but it had to be fan boats.
I don't remember.
But that's the way.
But it was cool how they had they had this course, and it was just like these.
Yeah.
Tight channels and shit, man. Those guys were nuts.
Are dope because you don't have to worry about blades being in the water. You literally run there. I saw this one. These fuckers in Florida. They're taking people through the Everglades and shit, and they're like, "Oh, there's a gator," and they're just running over fucking gators. And the gator's not surviving because they're aluminum bottoms, and they're they're shitting and spitting across the Everglades, and the guy goes, "Oh, there's a gator," and the gator's trying to get out of the way. Its little tail's going. And he just thumps it, and you look, the camera turns around, and you see shit bouncing. Like, they knocked them out of the water. And he's like, oh, good damn, wasn't a good one, or a big one or something. But, dude, that shit's crazy, too. And then it's a giant prop. Like, something goes wrong. I don't know, man. That's
Speaking of props, there was another thing in the news. At the airport in Montgomery, I think it was the main airport in Montgomery, Alabama, there was I think it was an American Airlines employee got sucked into the engine.
The guy that survived?
No, did he?
There's a guy that survived. Are you talking about the video of the one, like, back in the early 2000s?
Are you talking about, like, the military jet? That guy?
No, it was a... Well, it might have been like a C-130.
No, I'm saying this happened this week.
Oh, no, this was an old one. But that guy survived.
This guy got sucked in.
I don't know about this guy.
When I worked for the airline, that happened back in the 2000s sometime, and curiosity got the best of me, and I can't remember who it was. Somebody had the pictures of the aftermath, and they showed me, and it was this big, I think it was a 737 engine, and the cowling was just like covered in bubble gum. It was fucked.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I
don't know how I feel about seeing that, but
that's
what it looks like. Well, they told me about it, and I was like, no way. And somebody had the pictures.
Yeah.
We're in that industry. Somebody had the pictures. I don't know. I can't remember who it was, and I'm not going to name names anyway. But yeah, curiosity got the better of me, and I remember looking at it, and it was just like the outside of the edge of the engine was just covered in bubble gum.
See, I can't. Yeah, there's some shit that gets like sent to me that like I watch, and I'm like, I almost feel like it was forced upon me. Like I shouldn't have hit play, or like videos and movies and stuff of like natural disasters and like stuff that you're like you wanted to see for a split second. The video's not as much, but you wanted to see and then like immediately regretted seeing. I need to fucking stay off the internet for the most part when that shit happens.
Okay.
I'm not gonna say anything.
There was a military jet. I think it was on an aircraft carrier, and one of the ground crew guys was walking by it, and he got sucked in. And as he went in, his helmet came off and destroyed the turbine.
Yeah.
Destroyed the turbine, and
that might have been the one.
He kind of just got lodged there. That video is really spooky because he's walking past the intake, and it just like peels him backwards in, like he went like Noodle Man.
Yeah.
And he lived.
Yeah.
His
I don't know how fucked up he got, but I don't know quality of life wise, but I know he lived after that.
The story from the pictures I saw, the story from that was the guy was under the engine when they were, I think they were doing like a spool up test or something. It was at like a smaller repair station. So, like minimal ground crew, or, not a lot of, it wasn't like a big repair station like in Atlanta or something like that. This was, they called it like a mom and pop repair station or something like that. And the guy was under the engine when they were spooling it up or something, and his hat came off. He went to grab it, and like that was enough to like suck him around the cowling.
Oh man, no.
I think he was checking something while they were spooling it up, which I don't know if that was I don't know if that's protocol to be under the engine when it's fucking up, running up, but yeah.
I can tell you, if you work for Swin,
I've never had big league chew since.
Oh man,
I'm kidding.
Turned him inside out.
Yeah, it was a weird thing to see. One of the things, since we're already on a morbid kick tonight.
Yeah, we're kind of following through with this, aren't we?
One of the things that kind of freaked me out when I was working for the airline is some of the older engineers told me like when you get hired on full time, you have to go through like human factors training and shit. And one of the things you do is you have you're sitting in class and they play like the black box audio from some of the disasters.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was chilling, and I never wanted to hear that.
No, I heard somebody had a...
Just hearing about that was chilling. I was like, nope, no thank you.
Somebody had a compilation of... I don't know how they had it, but it was phone calls from people that were in the planes that hit the towers.
Mm-hmm.
And just people calling to tell their loved ones they love them. And
yeah.
that it wasn't a bunch. I don't know if it was completely fucking legal how they obtained that shit, but I don't even know if it was fully real. It sounded real. It felt real. And it was one of those things where I wish I didn't hear. Because fuck, dude.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of something lighter to talk about.
Well, we have 5 minutes, so.
Do we?
Yeah. It's a quick show. All I have to say is I hope 2023 gets better. I hope the bar's so low right now that it gets better for everybody on a personal note, professional note. I know I'm going to try and do the things that I can do. I need to focus more on controlling what I can control and controlling it in a positive manner. Because like I was trying to tell you the other night, there's a certain degree of you can't walk through life letting outside factors affect your happiness all the time. You have to grab stuff. You have to do something to affect your happiness. I'm in that kind of mode right now. Not like grab your dick or anything, but you know what I mean. Like get focus on being happy and don't just let happy happen to you.
I'm gonna focus on being more productive.
That's fine. Whatever makes you happy. See what I did there?
Well, when I quantify how much time I'm sitting around doing nothing, well, those days are over.
See, I need some time to think about not. I need time where my head doesn't race. You know what I mean? I need time to. I can't really. If I'm sitting there, and this happens to me too much when I'm trying to relax and go to bed, I'll sit there and I'll lay there and I'll just start thinking about all the bad shit. Mm-hmm. And I'm thinking maybe the only way that I can do that is to focus on more good, but also take up some of that time with positive things that I can do. I also have this thing where I'm trying to follow through with a lot of the doctor's appointments that I need to. Going and talk to somebody about anxiety. I got blood work coming up. I'm fucking 33 years old. I've never had blood work done. I got to have blood work done twice in 3 months. I need to go to the dentist. I'm going to get a second opinion on my hip and see if there is truly anything we can do. I think I'm going to see a chiropractor for the
Taking you to get scoped on Friday.
Endoscoped. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is not the asshole, it's the mouth. I found that out the hard way. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we'll see how the fucking goes. Fucking train wreck. Well, there's been a small fire in the operating room. Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Shout out to Barberton. What the fuck is wrong with you?
That was
sitting on the
That was a weird day,
psych.
too. That was a weird day, too. We've been stringing together too many weird days. It's got to stop.
Yeah, I hope the common denominator isn't us being together, because that would really blow for the future of this show and all of our future endeavors.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I think I'm done.
Bro, you look like that captain
I'm so
Dances
fucking tired.
with Wolves when he was like, I've just shit myself and there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
That's fine. Why don't you tell the good people where to find us, because we are at 58 minutes already.
You can find us on Spotify, Amazon Music. I'm not going to say Deezer or Ghana anymore because nobody uses those.
I haven't looked up the analytics, but we were like 0.03% on Ghana, so I don't know. It could be
There's
different
some
now.
lonely asshole in New Delhi or Delphi.
Bro, don't call our one listener a fucking asshole.
I didn't
on
mean,
4 Mile Road or whatever
I
the
didn't
fuck
mean
they
that
name their
in
shit.
I didn't mean that in a
It's alright, he already
mean
canceled
way.
us.
Anyways, Spotify, Amazon Music, Harm's Way Podcast, TikTok, Harm's Way 8993, Instagram, Harm's Way Podcast. Video will be uploaded to YouTube and Rumble, both at Harm's Way Podcast. Again, if you're searching on Rumble, search by channel, not videos, or you'll never find us.
Eric's going to give me some more clips to upload to TikTok, hopefully in the next couple days.
That's what I forgot, because I got like 25 of them.
Ooh. I like that red bubble lighting up.
I don't mean to inundate you with...
It's alright, we're not going to be trending or anything, but gives me something to do because I can release exactly 10 a day.
Like 15 of them are from the episode we had Manny on.
That's good.
Oh really my god, man. I kind of had to cool it. Like I was clipping every like 90 seconds, like I said, and I had to cool it. I was like, all right. Yeah. So, good show.
Yep.
Happy. Need to get home, get to bed.
Give us a like, comment, try us. That's all we got, though. As always, we love you, so give us some love. Or however I fucking say it. My bad, guys. We'll bring the A game next time.
Good night.
Good night.